Good morning, everyone. It's just me, Kristen from the Blue Lady. I am out with Jackson. There's Jackson. We're walking, there's a little lane. There's the road that I live on there. We're walking down this little lane that goes through the orchards. And I just had to stop because I was, normally I hear very few, there's this very wild, untouched, really great stretch of beautiful, just untouched area on both sides of here. So there's lots and lots of birds and lots of, you can hear the birds, and I heard this wonderful sound over here, and this tree is all blossomed and it's got all sorts of bees buzzing. And the reason that I find it so, and there's the honeysuckle over here that the bees are on too. And I'm really so relieved this morning because I live near these orchards that they've been spraying every single day, like every day. Today's the first day in at least a week that I haven't heard the spraying of their pesticides on the orchard trees. So it's a little bit disheartening because they don't worry about the impact it's having on the bees when they are spraying all these fruit trees. And I'll tell you, they people may think that they're not affecting the neighboring houses in my little yard where I have this little habitat for the bees and the habitat for all the birds and the I want bugs on my property. I want bugs there because it feeds the birds, and the more bugs I have, the better the birds will do. Because a lot of the birds are young right now, and they feed their young bugs, as much as I can feed them a little bit of seed and stuff like that, but it's bugs that they feed their young right now, most of them. Well, the ones that I've researched, because I do like to look up what individual birds eat and stuff. So I just want to see the contrast. Look at the wild phlox over here. Isn't this beautiful? Love those flowers. And those grow just wild everywhere here. When I was growing up, my mom and my sister or my brother, when we'd go for rides on Sundays, and we'd dig a few of these up, and we planted them next to the neighbor's garage at our house. So anyways, so listen to the birds and the wildlife here. There's foxes and rabbits and deer that are out here too. Almost every morning we see some kind of little critter. So I want you to listen to the birds, listen to the contrast of the singing birds here. And then we will go into the monoculture that is the orchard. And you can see and hear the difference. Because there's no life in the orchard where there's a monoculture. So we will walk you in there. And as we walk, it gets a little bit, because they really do have quite a bit. This goes very, very deep in. Not super deep, but probably an acre here that's all wild. It's probably an acre on that side. And I did notice, because this is the first year I've really walked back here. And I do love to walk back here, but I notice when they're spraying, my face breaks out. And it happened last year. Last year was the first year I noticed. This is a very, very, very old cherry tree. There's a couple of them in here that are beautiful. And then there's lots of wild raspberries in this little hedgerow, along with some more of that wild phlox. So I'm going to take you deeper into this monoculture orchard, where it's mostly apple trees. I noticed this at the beginning of the spring this year, how silent it is in here. And it took me aback a little. I mean, it really kind of floored me, because I can hear the only birds right now, and I will shut up in a second so you can actually listen. The only birds that I'm hearing are behind me in those hedgerows. I'm hearing something over here. So there's probably, I'm sure there's birds, but it's so different. See what I mean? The life is gone. Listen to that, how quiet that is. Isn't that amazing? And it's just from taking all of the they don't really want any of this. Look at this little peaches here. And look at how my peach tree in my yard is beautiful. Look at these, they're dying. They will eventually spray all this with Roundup on the bottom, if they haven't already. So it'll all be, it's getting warm out here too now. I think it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, so. But clearly not thriving. And of course these are quite a bit older trees, I'm sure. But, I mean, look at this. They're not thriving from this system they have with spraying constantly. It can't be that old, because that dead tree has the tag, the little white plastic tag still on it. Well, I'm seeing a lot of white tags still on these trees. So, yeah, and the difference, because when I wake up in the morning, I hear, it wakes me up about 4:30, because I have my windows open in the house. So, 4:30, around 4 or 4:30, they start to chirp and sing, and happiest little birds, and they're just everywhere in my yard, because I have so much for them. There's all sorts of food in there, there's bugs in there, this has been sprayed, so there's no bugs flying around. I'm not getting bit by mosquitoes at all, so they've sprayed. And what they do is they go down these aisles with these big, I'm sure you've seen them. Maybe you haven't if you aren't familiar with orchards. So they spray up into the air this pesticide. And it goes, whoops, tripped a little. It goes up into the air. There's a dragonfly.